What is going on? Week 9. Starting a little late today with that Germany game over there where everybody's watching the Chiefs beat up on the Dolphins. Hopefully now that it's 21-0, we'll get some people switching over to us from the game. But that's a little wishful thinking. We got Castile in here already. Good morning, gentlemen. And his question is, Joe Burrow or Jalen Hurts this week?
Jalen Hurts. Yeah, me too. And if it's a 1 QB format, it's time to trade a quarterback. But I can't imagine you have, unless you have Mahomes and Allen as well. That's a super flex question. So, but I'd go with Hurts as well. Although Burrow's on fire.
Yeah, you're playing Dallas at home too. Like I could just imagine the Eagles just looking pretty good today. And then Hurts has the multiple rushing touchdown upside with that tush push. So he's like one of the most valuable quarterbacks in fantasy for this year and redraft formats, and then obviously in dynasties up he's climbed his way up to the tops pretty quickly.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes was the only quarterback that I had ahead of him in my rankings this week. So obviously he's playing, and
he's off to a good start.
I do have Burrow number 6. So it's not like he's far down there. So it's as Sully said, if this is a 1 QB league, you need to trade one of these guys and beef up somewhere else. Save yourself the headache on a week-to-week basis. Rob Kane says Nico or Mixon in the flex, since Mostert is playing like booty juice. Ha ha, Rob. We got to get these booty juice shirts made.
Booty juice and booty sauce, isn't it?
Yeah,
hell yeah,
both of them. I gotta come up with a description of what the actual difference is between booty sauce and booty juice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean,
you gotta answer the question, right?
I don't know, man. It's been a long week for me. Let's see here. What do I got? I'm guessing I have Mixon ahead, but
I do. I have Mixon 4 spots higher than Nico. I got Mixon 23 overall and Collins at 27 overall. I think they're both good starts. Mixon seemed to have a bit of juice that he's been lacking coming out of their bye, so I'm gonna ride the hot hand there and go with Joe Mixon.
Yeah, I have Mixon 23rd as well, and
there you go.
Nico 26th. So
we're pretty much the same.
Mixon just ahead of him.
Yep. Mixon for me as well. You have to look the first half of this year. He's had a lot of tough matchups, and he's about to go through a pretty nice stretch of soft defenses when it comes to fantasy points that they allow to the running back. So he could be in for quite a few good weeks here coming up. So maybe if you need a push to try and become a contender, make the playoffs, it could be a guy that you could buy cheaper than his price might be somewhat down than what it might be in the next week or two.
That's some rock solid fantasy advice there, Bryce. Well done, buddy.
Look at that.
Coming in hot today, hey?
Came prepared. Did sleepers the best? You just get to look at it. You just pull it right here and get to like that. But I was looking at Mixon earlier this week in a trade.
Don't give away your secrets, buddy. Don't give them away.
I just traded him. I just traded him to Custer in the league. Nice. Him and Tua in the deal. Daniel needs, all caps, need really bad a flex. Addison, Lockett, Downs. Seems like Hill is going to have a dud game. Hill can stack them on fast though. There's a whole half.
Yeah, he could get a whole day of fantasy production literally in one play. They got to try and push him deep here, and they're going to be throwing the whole second half. So he's going to have a lot of opportunity here. So he's got 5 for 39, so he's not really off to a bad start. I mean, he's on track for an 18-point week. So.
Most wide receivers would be like, hell yeah, man, good first half.
No, totally.
keep that in the second half.
18 points for him is like, oh, that sucks.
So I have Addison 33, Lockett 57, and Downs 58. So I would be on the Addison train here, even though it's Jaron Hall. It's tough. It's sad to see Kirk go, but I would be Addison here. Sully, what do you got?
I'm the same, and I'm still not over the loss of my quarterback, which was gut-wrenching. That said, if the Vikings want any hope at all today, we're getting the ball out in a hurry. And when you're getting the ball out in a hurry, it could be a good TJ Hawkinson, Jordan Addison day. So I have Addison ranked the highest, then Downs, then Lockett. But the other thing with Downs is he's questionable. He's been battling a knee thing, so keep your eye on that if you're thinking about going that route. Bryce?
I wasn't choosing Addison enough last week, and he, kind of made me pay for it. But so I'm not going to make that mistake again. I'm going to go with Jordan Addison.
And the nice thing is that even if Jaron Hall, like if he starts off horrific, they can just throw Dobbs in there and be like, go play the game. I know you haven't been here long, but go play. And
he's probably got 20 plays under his hat that he knows, and I'm pretty confident that at some point we'll probably see him today. So I don't think that's a bad comment at all.
All right, here we go at tight end. We going Ferguson or we going Taysom Hill, Bryce?
Both of these guys were on the waiver wire in a league where I have Darren Waller, and I picked up Taysom Hill and started him. So I'm going to obviously choose him, hoping that's right. It's nice when your tight end could rush and or throw a touchdown as well. So I'll stick with Taysom Hill. Sully?
The number 2 overall tight end is Taysom Hill. I believe that. There's opportunity for him.
I think you're cutting out a little bit, but
your hamster's hurting right now.
He chose Taysom Hill. That's what I heard.
It's early. Ferguson Hill's been on fire. He's been the second ranked tight end since week 6, but I have Ferguson higher. I think he does well today.
Okay.
I have Ferguson higher as well. I have Ferguson at 90th overall and Taysom Hill at 111th overall. So they're actually, when you talk about tight ends, they're actually pretty close. But, I'm on the Ferguson side here. I like that game for scoring some points. All right. Mike needs to know Devin Singletary or Jerome Ford or James Cook. He needs to start 2 in a full PPR. He's got McCaffrey on bye. I have that in a league where I have to start Sean Tucker because all my running backs are on bye. That sucks. So Singletary, Ford, or Cook. Pick which one are you sitting, Sully?
I'll probably sit Devin Singletary, even though he's getting a bigger share in that offense lately. Even though Pierce is out, I still think Ford has a good game, and I still like James Cook. So that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, I'm gonna sit Devin Singletary as well.
Yeah, I'm in the same book. I'm gonna be sitting Singletary here as well and starting Ford and Cook. And then Rob Kane comes in with Ford or Gus Edwards in PPR. Sully, I see you nodding your head. Which one are you going with?
Well, I'm kind of laughing at myself because I was crapping all over Gus Edwards last week, and then all he did was score 3 times. So that offense is rolling in Baltimore, and that team looks real good. So I'll go with Gus Edwards here over Ford. Bryce?
It's kind of crazy that Gus Edwards only gets 50% snap count, but still gets 21 touches in a game.
Right.
But so with that being said, when he's on the field, he's getting the ball a lot. So I will go with Gus Edwards. I really do expect that Colts, the Browns backfield to really become more of a 50-50 with Kareem and Ford moving forward, where it seems like Gus Edwards is starting to really take a majority of the touches as a running back for the Ravens. Right.
Yeah. Finally, how many weeks in a row could I say Gus Edwards has multiple touchdown upside and just get let down, and then finally he just slams it in there with 3. Thank you, Gus. That's what I'm going with as well, by the way. I'm going Gus Edwards here. I've got him 27th overall in my rankings, so I'm pretty high on him. Marquise Brown or Tank Dell? Mike needs to know, so Bryce, which one of these guys are we going with here?
I'm going to go with Marquise Brown. I'm just, the quarterback situation might be a little sketchy, but he is the best wide receiver on that team. So if that young quarterback is going to, target anybody, it's probably going to be Marquise Brown early and often, along with Trey McBride. So I'll go with Marquise Brown over Tank Dell. Sully?
Back-to-back of my rankings, Tank Dell one spot ahead at 58 over Marquise Brown. I think the Cardinals offense might be a little off-tune today.
Pun intended.
Come on, that was golden. Come on.
Sorry, I was making sure I had my stuff right. I missed it. I was looking at my rankings. I have Tank Dell ahead as well. Yeah, sorry, I missed it, Sully.
All good. That's as good as it gets, man. I just peaked. I just peaked at 11, 12 a.m. It's all downhill from here.
Daniel says with a fumble, yeah. Still 7.9 points.
Is that -1?
Depends, sometimes -2.
Yeah. So, but 7.9 points in the first half, something like that.
-1 or -2. He's going to get that back and catches alone easily in the second half, and he could score. Please let him score.
There's going to be. It looks like there's going to be garbage time, which is not ever a bad thing for Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, I don't know if KC's D is going to let garbage time happen.
I don't know. Mike Smith says Terry McLaurin or Devonta Smith. I gotta look at these. I have Terry McLaurin ahead here. I'm going Terry McLaurin over Devonta Smith.
You and me both.
Yeah, Terry McLaurin's got Devonta Smith's floor is obviously lower here. I think there's just so many mouths to feed. We've seen him put up way more crappier weeks than we have seen Terry McLaurin do. He seems like a pretty solid floor play this year, but he just has yet to have that big ceiling game, which could definitely happen today against New England, whose safeties are not really good coverage safeties. So deep balls are definitely going to be open for Scary Terry today.
And no Curtis Samuel today, so that should help him a little bit as well.
Freddie says, sup, fellas, we need to start 2. Downs, Puka, Singletary, Hunt. Sully, which 2 are you starting here?
This one's tough for me. I'm fading Puka today. I just think it's going to be Brett Rippon for sure. And Puka's questionable with a knee, and he hasn't been Puka-like the last few weeks. So I'm hoping Downs goes, and I think I'm Downs and Hunt here. Bryce?
Puka's playing. I'm playing him. It's Puka and Downs for me. Downs has put up over 13 points the last 4 weeks in a row. So he's been pretty solid, especially with Gardner Minshew.
Yeah. It's a huge target share with Gardner as well.
Mm-hmm. It is going to be Brett Ripien today. It's not official, but it's like 95% chance, I think. So Matt Stafford didn't practice once this week.
Yeah, when you get Rappaport and Scheffner tweeting out that a player's unlikely to play, they almost never play, and that's what they're saying about Stafford. So I think it is Rippon as well.
Man, I'm like back and forth here.
It's a good question. It's tough.
I think the 2 safest plays are Singletary and Hunt. With Downs being on the injury report, I think those are the two safest. But on the flip side, I think Downs and Puka are the 2 ceiling plays. So for me, it really depends on. Puka is. They still they're still gonna. It doesn't matter who they put in there; they still throw the ball a lot, and Puka and Kupp are gonna get just bombarded with the targets. I think if I really need safety, I'm going Singletary and Hunt. Upside, I'm going with Downs and Puka. And if I'm in the middle, I'm probably going Downs and Hunt. I know that probably wasn't very helpful, but that's a tough one. There's a lot of variables that play in roster or starting lineup construction that I would have to debate. I know they're ranked close, but need 2. Same team, Moss, Ford, Henderson. So we need 2 out of Moss, Ford, and Henderson. Which 2 are you going with, Bryce?
Henderson's my number 1 here with the Ripien starting. I imagine they just really, really try and get that run game going and keep it alive the entire game. So Darrell Henderson could easily see 20-plus touches today. Man, this is tough. It's like Zach Moss gets a lot of touches, and they got a really good matchup this week against a horrible run-stopping defense in the Carolina Panthers. I'll go with Henderson and Moss. Sully.
Last week, we saw Royce Freeman take the bulk of the touches out of that backfield, and Henderson was relevant in the passing game. Moss is getting everything in the red zone, and Ford is 2 weeks removed from an ankle injury. I'm sitting Henderson here.
I'm going Ford and Henderson, I think.
You're welcome, Daniel.
JT is taking more and more and more of the work week after week after week for Indy. And
on the red zone.
He is not going to – Moss is not going to hold on to the red zone work over JT. It's just not – that's not going to happen long term. When does that switch? I don't know, but
I've been watching them a lot too. Like, I don't think they just take JT out when they get in the red zone. I think it's just he got them there a few times, and it was like he needed a break, and then Moss got in. Like, I don't think it was like a package to get Moss in the red zone packages over JT. I think it was just, all right, this guy's tired. We have to be in the – and I was watching a lot of the Colts game, and like it was like JT was in the entire time, and he was getting some touches. He looked like he was breathing heavy, comes off. Moss just happens to be in the red zone. I think they're just spelling each other. I think they both can do the same thing. Obviously, JT's better. I think it's just when one gets tired, they throw the other one in. So
I'm looking at these three, and when I look at the counterparts in the backfield, JT is the one that sticks out as I could dominate all the touches.
I'll make this easy and join you, Rick. I was on the fence on that one anyway, and I'll join with Ford and Henderson to make that more clear for Daniel.
Oh, I wasn't trying to get anybody to switch.
Well, I was like, I agree with you too. So I'm like, well, you know what? Ford has never really deserved to get touches taken away from him. Where I guess neither has Moss, but the counterpart is the difference there.
Yeah, that's my thing. Is that when I think Royce Freeman, Kareem Hunt, and Jonathan Taylor, which one scares me the most? Jonathan Taylor. So I'm going with Jonathan Taylor. And Daniel says, "Well, thanks, guys. 3 different answers." Well.
Bryce, now you got 2. I changed. I was on the fence anyway.
James says PPR, Kupp, Chase, Higgins, Flowers, James Cook, Ford. We need 2 wide receivers and 1 flex. I think we're all going to agree Kupp and Chase are the 2 receivers, right? Like, we're not, even with Ripien in there, we're not sitting Kupp.
I'm almost 99% sure. Give me 1 second.
Kupp is off 2 terrible weeks fantasy-wise, well, just production-wise. So he's kind of due for a decent one. It could be this week.
I've pushed him down quite a bit, but he's still ahead of Zay Flowers. So, yes, those are my 2 wide receivers.
So then for the flex, are we going Higgins, Flowers, Cook, or Ford?
Right. Flowers for me. Sorry, I answered.
You're fine.
I think I'm also going to go Flowers here. Yep. Give me Zay Flowers.
Yep. That's who I have. I believe. Yeah. Yes. Flowers for me as well. It's hard to sit Cook there, though.
It is.
Mike wants to know, tight end, Logan Thomas or Dalton Schultz? I have Logan Thomas up there.
Me too. He's my 7th tight end this week. I'm going Thomas.
Yeah, so we must be pretty close because he's 6th overall in our tight end ranking. So Logan, I'm in the wrong one.
Yeah, make it a clean sweep.
Logan Thomas is 63 for me, and Schultz is 69. So they're close. But
Matt Stafford's officially out. He will not play today. Shocking news.
Logan Thomas was the answer for that last one, Mike, from us.
I got Schultz at 112th overall this week, so I just know why, but
I just noticed
he's down there. But he's down there. I don't know why, but so it's Thomas by about 60 ranking spots for me this week.
Vansco says full PPR Jerome Ford. I should have put Jerome Ford on the cover, huh? It looks like he's going to be the big question today. Jerome Ford or Gabe Davis? Currently need some points because I'm starting Tua and Hill.
Who would have thought that starting Tua and Hill would result in you needing upside?
Right? I think if that's the case, you got to go Gabe Davis, right? Like he 2-3 touchdowns in a game. He does that periodically. So I think he's got the ceiling here. But he does also have the 2-point floor. That doesn't feel so good as well. But he definitely has the ceiling, in my opinion.
Ford is definitely the floor play.
Yep. He's gonna be your safe play. Gabe Davis got to be your ceiling play.
Mike Smith says Joe Burrow or CJ Stroud, and I don't even have to look at my rankings. I know I got Burrow ahead because I have him at number 5 or 6, and I don't have Stroud that high. Stroud's been struggling a little bit the past few weeks, showing those rookie stripes. So Joe Burrow here quite easily for me now that we're seeing Joe back to himself. Sully, do you agree with that?
Yeah, I have Burrow at 5 and Stroud at 10. And the only reason Stroud's at 10 is this is probably one of the worst quarterback weeks I think I've ever ranked.
Man.
But the tier between 5 and 10 is significant this week. But I have Carr at 12, Jones at 13. Like it's ugly this week.
Yep. Baker Mayfield is our 12th ranked quarterback combined.
Yeah, I have him 11.
If that doesn't tell you, I got Derek Carr in my top 10, and that doesn't look right this year, but craziness at quarterback.
It's the worst week I've ever seen for quarterbacks.
Yeah,
that I can remember at least.
I was just talking yesterday, going into next season, there could be a third of the league looking at changes at quarterback. It's crazy.
Yeah. There's 32 teams in the NFL. I have 37 quarterbacks ranked this week.
And 5 of them are on bye. Or 4 of them are on bye.
That's right. Bye. Yep.
Vansco says full PPR, Jerome Ford, Puka, Gabe Davis for flex. I currently need some points because so he asked that question twice, but he just added
Puka. He added Puka this time, and
so
I think I'm still Gabe Davis, but Puka's probably a smarter play. Just the upside. I think Gabe Davis definitely has that higher ceiling, right? Like I don't think Puka has touchdown upside.
I think Puka's a good mix of floor and ceiling.
Agree. Totally. But I think Gabe would still have the high. He's the only guy with 3 touchdown upside here that I see if I'm really that desperate for points. But if you're not getting thumped and you're close, it's probably Puka.
I'm changing mine for the Puka. It's going to be a Stephon Diggs week this week anyway. I can feel it.
I'm going Puka here as well. Seth says, morning, gentlemen, Carr or Howell for today. Also, Godwin or DJ Moore. I assume that's DJ Moore and not Elijah Moore because that would be an easier question to answer, right?
Yeah, so gotta be.
I have Carr at 10, and I have Howell at 9. So I have Howell 1 spot ahead.
I have Howell at 9 and Carr at 12, and my God, this week is gross.
What'd you say, Bryce?
I'm going to go with Derek Carr here.
You're going with Carr, and we're both going with Howell.
And if that's DJ Moore, I'm going DJ Moore as well.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if we all got that one.
Yeah, I forgot the second part here, so I think I'm going to be Godwin.
I think I'm going Godwin here as well.
I have Moore at 46 and Godwin at 38. Now, as far as I know, Fields hasn't been ruled out. He threw for the first time on Friday, and it was still possible. It was very likely. It was Eberflus said 51% to 49% that he doesn't play. So
that's great.
Can
you just say 50?
You guys would have to be one of the dumbest organizations in football history to put him out there right now.
I want him out there immediately. I cannot watch Bajan anymore. Daniel says, seriously, thank you. In all caps. That means he is serious. When he puts it in all caps, he is for real serious. We appreciate you, Daniel. Traded Hurts and Pittman for Chase. Thoughts? I think it's a W. I have Kyler and Heineke for this week.
You don't have Kyler this week, but Heineke will be fine. And
I think he meant I have Kyler and I have Heineke for this week. So if Kyler's back next week, I think that's what he meant.
You're right. I'm not very smart. I usually am a big fan of getting the best player in a trade. and I think Chase is definitely the best player in this trade, but this one's really tight.
For me,
if it's one quarterback, I'll take Chase.
It has to be a one quarterback league, right?
Yeah.
I'll take Chase, especially if you have Kyler as your backup. He's always.
I think that's where I am too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Kyler
I
won't
think
be in Arizona next year either.
As long as you get Kyler back, if Kyler comes back in week 10, this is a big dub for you because I think Kyler's, he's obviously not going to be Hurts fantasy wise, but the upgrade from Pittman, and everybody knows how much I love Pittman, to Chase is just way bigger. So I think that you win this and it helps you score more points on a weekly basis.
I like Heineke for this week. I like the entire receiving core for the Falcons now that Heineke's playing quarterback.
It's better. It's better for sure. But the Vikes D is slowly coming around and getting Flores' system down. So I think that game's, every game the Vikings plays a one-score game. That game should be close, even with Hall at quarterback. But yeah, I like Heineke.
I definitely like him better than Ritter.
Yeah.
But it sucks that as soon as we don't have Ritter, we also don't have London. So we can't see. We don't get that immediate gratification of watching him get, 9 targets and actually scoring some real good fantasy points. Now it's going to be a Mac Hollins week.
So I just saw a note that Poles is saying that Fields could play on Thursday.
That's what's the most likely thing is that he sits out today. Bajent sucks just like normal, and then Fields comes back on Thursday.
Maybe we finally got a Kyle Pitts week this week.
Yeah. Kyle Pitts breakout week.
Good God, it's only 3 years too late.
Craig says Scott Fishbowl 13, Gallup, Aguilar, or my guy Jamison Crowder as a flex.
Ugh.
I think I'm gonna have Aguilar ahead here.
So with Fishbowl scoring and points for first downs,
I'm wrong.
I can see Aguilar and Crowder probably getting more catches than Gallup, but Gallup could definitely do more in terms of damage. I think I'm going Nelson Aguilar here. I think that he's had a bit of a piece in that offense, and he could catch, he could go 3 for 45 and a couple of first downs, which gets you some extra points in that scoring format. So I'll go with Nelson Aguilar here.
I'll go with Nelson Aguilar as well.
Ooh, I'm the only one that's going to have Gallup in there. Vansco says, sorry, boys, thought I deleted my mistyped message. Oh, you're all good. You're all good. We got you.
Well, I don't think it was mistyped. I can't read.
No, that was the one that he had Puka in the second one.
I still can't. I can't read regardless. So
Canadian public schools. Jeez.
Right. Internet sucks.
I have
Education system sucks. It's freaking freezing cold 10 months a year. This place is great.
Kurt Quass says Hubbard or Madison. Sully. We're gonna let you.
It is Chuba Hubbard by a very, very wide margin and easily for me. The Alexander Madison story is close that book.
Is it Cam Akers season now?
I don't think so. So they alternated series last week, and here's the reality: is neither one of them are really that good right now. And if you're Atlanta, are you stacking the box today? I am. So no, I don't want
to run defense. They might not have to because their run defense has already been really stout this year.
It has. They did lose 2 defensive tackles to injury last week, so that's the only saving grace for the Vikings. But I don't want very many Vikings other than Addison and Hawkinson today. So Chuba's taken over that backfield. It's Chuba for me.
And this is standard, so he corrected that in the next one. So typically, I would say against a tough run defense, maybe Madison gets more value because of PPR work, right? The more dump offs and stuff like that, especially with a rookie quarterback. But since it's a standard, yes, it still adds points, but it's not as big of a difference maker. So I'm with you. I'm on Hubbard as well.
Chuba Hubbard's Canadian, so there's that too.
I'm gonna go with Madison, and if everybody knows,
says no one ever.
Right?
What's
There's
next?
2 players in my history that I've.
I was gonna say, when do the QJ questions start? Is that the other guy?
No, Ronald Jones got the other one.
Yeah, that's fair.
Ronald Jones was the first guy that I ever said, Ronald Jones is never the answer.
We pooped on Ronald Jones for so long. I loved all those Ronald Jones truthers for so long, and good for them. They fought the good fight. They hung in there, but
yeah, they tried. My wide receivers are Deontay Johnson, Puka, and Chase now. That's
solid core.
I like
good 3. Good on you.
Okay, Craig needs to know Heineke or Jordan Love.
Wow.
Bryce.
See, this is the week we're in.
Yep.
His stuff. Geez. Who did the Packers play today?
Rams. They play the Rams.
That might be a quick game.
6-3.
The Rams, the Rams might not even throw the ball that much. I mean, they're not going to try to, at least. I'll go with Taylor Heineke. I honestly think that he's the better quarterback of these two. And Kyle Pitts might also be the best receiver out of both these teams' options. So I'll go with Heineke. Sully.
I'm holding my nose and grabbing the Jordan Love side of this, who's my quarterback 14 this week. Tyler Heineke's my quarterback 19 this week. I just think this is disgusting. I feel for you, Craig. You're a good man, but I'm going to start Jordan Love, and he's not good.
I have Jordan Love at 19 and Taylor Heineke at 22. So I do have Jordan Love a little bit ahead of Heineke. And again, as Sully said, I'm going to hold my nose and slam Jordan Love into my lineup there. Seth says, thanks, guys. Very rough week at quarterback. Have Deshaun Watson, but such a risky start with the shoulder and Kyler out till next week. Yeah, it's
maybe out till next week. I feel like this Kyler thing might linger on and linger on and linger on. I
think he plays next week. I think he plays next.
I think he could have played this week, and
I think he could have played last week.
Yeah, I know. I think they're trying to keep him out. They're doing like that. I don't know. This is a strange situation they're doing, but they want to lose at this point. I mean,
they're just keeping Kyler in good shape once they trade him to Minnesota in the offseason.
Well, that's what I think. I think they don't want him to get hurt out there.
I think you guys have a solid shot to have your guy Kirk back next year now.
I hope so.
Kyler
I think we do.
Patriot next year.
He was playing great, dude. He was playing great.
He was honestly, people think I'm nuts, but he was playing at an MVP level when he got hurt. I've never seen him play better.
He was playing fantastic football for sure.
I'd bring him back for another year and draft somebody. But
I'm still calling it. You guys heard me call it last offseason. Like in the summer, Kyler Murray will be a Ram.
Interdivision, hey?
Somehow, some way. I think the only way is that's if Sean McVay stays on the sideline and doesn't go to the booth, because we know every offseason there's going to be talk about him retiring as a coach and going to the booth because he's got a very lucrative deal when that day happens. But I could see him coveting somebody like Kyler moving forward since Stafford is old. Aaron Jones or James Cook? Which one are you going with there, Bryce?
We chose Aaron Jones a lot last week, and that was not a good choice for us, was it? But I
don't know what the Packers are doing.
They were god awful last week. I'm gonna go with James Cook. This game could be high scoring, fun game to watch this week. James Cook does get some work out of the backfield. Does suck he doesn't get as much red zone looks, but he's gotten more the past few weeks than he has early in the season. Just still not as many as we'd like to see. So I'll go with James Cook. I can't risk the floor that Aaron Jones has been giving us this whole year pretty much. Sully?
Being a running back, I really hope James Cook gets work out of the backfield.
Yeah. Well, you know what I mean. Like a burst back out of the backfield. There we go. Is that better?
Hey, do you guys think Fournette's active tonight? Has he been brought off the practice squad yet?
I don't know, but did he not look like he was in better shape coming into the Bills midseason than he looked at the beginning of like last year for Tampa? I saw pictures of him with his calves, and they were showing. I mean, he looks like he's in better shape than he was last year. So,
he hasn't.
Squad hamstrings look like AJ Dillon.
I think anytime you get a running back that starts in week 9 that hasn't already been hit 200 or 150 times when you include training camp and offseason stuff, that's a benefit. I have James Cook ranked higher, but I think I'm wrong. Like, I'm going to go Aaron Jones here. LaFleur was talking him up this week, saying he's finally all systems go. We'll see. And maybe this is just a selfish thing because I really need Aaron Jones to get his shit together. So I'm going to go with Aaron Jones.
Me too. I've got James Cook ahead, so I'm going to go James Cook, but it's another one of those. At some point, they have to lean on Aaron Jones for that offense. They just have to. He's the best player they have on their offense, and they have to lean on him, or else it's going to continue looking like it has. Another team that looks like they may be in the running for one of the top quarterback prospects in the league, Green Bay, we could see some changes. Wouldn't that be something, Sully, as fans of NFC North teams, to watch Green Bay's quarterback project burn in year one after what we've had to deal with over the last 30-some years?
I told Custer in the offseason, if Jordan Love becomes a Hall of Fame quarterback, I'm going to hang myself because I can't go through this again. I know, right? A little dark, sorry. My biggest fear is that Kirk Cousins is the Green Bay Packers quarterback next season, to be totally honest.
Oh, that'd be gross.
Good for Christian Watson.
So we had 2 James Cook and Aaron Jones, right? For Kyle?
That is correct.
Freddie says, sorry, piggybacking off my first question that I didn't ask correctly. Start 1 wide receiver and 1 running back. Puka or Downs, Hunt or Singletary. So I've got Puka ahead of Downs.
I'm going Downs.
Yeah, I think you could definitely say if you need the ceiling play, you could go Puka, but I'm going to go safe and go with Downs here.
I think Downs is both. I don't disagree with what you're saying, but I just personally think that Downs is both this week.
The Colts score a lot. They score a lot. So
well, they're like the second best offense in football, I think.
Yeah. Well, Gardner's just YOLO all the time, right? Like he does not care.
He's like a reincarnated Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yep.
He's exactly that. That's exactly who he is.
Yep.
He's got something cool about him, and
I love him. Yeah.
He's got nothing to lose. Like he's going to be a backup no matter what. So when he's out there, he's like, I'll just sling it around.
Yep. I'm going Puka and Hunt.
Yeah, I'm going Hunt as well.
I'm going Hunt easily, yeah.
Also, traded Bijan and Hopkins for ETN and Godwin. Best trade I made so far, I think. Yeah, in redraft, this is pretty good.
Yeah, redraft. ETN is pretty touchdown dependent, but he just keeps scoring them, so you're pretty fine.
Even for Arthur Smith, dumbfounded when I look at the touches and how they split that backfield right now.
Yeah, I can't imagine he keeps his job after this year. Unless
they
somehow win that division. Yeah.
He's winning. The ownership's not going, oh, my God, you didn't give Bijan enough. They're going, hey, you're winning, and we don't even have a quarterback.
Right?
It helps when you're in the worst division in football.
It certainly does, but at the same time, you still got to play the game. And that's not a knock on Tyler Algier. He's a damn good running back, but this guy's supposed to be a generational talent, and you're giving him 14 touches and the other guy's getting 15 to 20. Doesn't make any sense to me. Not to mention your other 2 guys you drafted in the top 10 you don't really like to use a whole hell of a lot either. Darrell Hodge is your number 1 wide receiver all of a sudden.
Well, he wasn't there when they drafted Pitts, so he might not have any skin in that game because he came after, right? He was there with London when London got drafted.
I still hate him, and I love that video that you posted in our chat.
It's funny, isn't it?
It's awesome. I probably watched it 20 times. It's laughed every time.
Gets his first touch. Fuck you, Arthur Smith.
Sweet little girl. And then you hear Bryce dropping F-bombs in the background. Love it. So good.
I meant to ask permission to use that in a YouTube short.
Go ahead. It's funny.
All right. Hi, fellas. Full PPR. Play 2. Cam Akers, Kyle Pitts, Musgrave, or Kincaid. So we're playing 2. And I think I'm going to go Pitts and Kincaid with the double tight end here. Cam Akers just isn't getting enough right now. So, and I expect that offense to not be nearly as potent. So I'm going to go with Pitts and Kincaid and hope Pitts gets bombarded by targets by Taylor Heineke in his first start for the Falcons. And then Kincaid these rookie tight ends just look damn good right now. Kincaid, coming off his biggest game as a rookie last week. So I'm gonna double dip on the tight ends here. So
yep. And,
okay. Oh, Bryce, go ahead.
Go ahead, Bryce.
I'm going right with you. There's no reason that Pitts shouldn't get 10 plus targets today with Drake London out, and then Taylor Heineke at quarterback. This might be like one of the best situations Pitts has been in the last 2 years for a big week, especially when it comes to target share. And then I'm going with Kincaid as well. With no Dawson Knox now, Kincaid is getting a lot more work. I really see him as like a top 7 option every week, no matter the matchup or anything like that, because that touchdown upside's huge, and he's a very good pass catching tight end. His only knock is he can't block, which we don't care about that in fantasy.
We don't. So I'll have Kincaid on the top of this list rather easily. He looks like advertised. I think to your point, especially since they lost Dawson Knox and we ran 1 tight end sets. He's a slot receiver and looks fantastic. I think Luke Musgrave ate Jordan Love's lunch out of the fridge without his permission in preseason, because Jordan Love hates him because he can't throw him a pass even when he's wide open. So it's not him. Kyle Pitts is the answer for me here as well, the secondary one. I think Pitts and Kincaid could easily do in 2 or 3 plays what Akers is probably going to do all day. The only thing that would save Akers here is a touchdown, and we have 1 rushing touchdown on the season, although it was to Cam Akers. So, but yeah, it's Last Pitts. Week. Please, Lord, let him be something, and Kincaid. Please, Lord, I just made a massive trade. Can I tell you my trade I just made?
Yeah, because we only
just made it like on the air.
You want to ask these questions and then I'll tell you?
We only got 2 more here quick, so we don't want to make these guys wait too long. Mordenheim says Myers, Dotson, or Puka half PPR. Which one are you going with? Myers, Dotson, or Puka? Sully.
Look at my rankings. I'm sure I have Puka higher, but I really like Dotson this week. I would have it Puka, Dotson, Myers this week.
Puka for me as well. Bryce?
I love all 3 of these guys, though.
Yeah, it's Puka for me as well. I'm excited to see what this Vegas offense does without Josh McDaniels quarterback. It seems like everybody's just happy.
I bet you the Raiders win 40-10 today.
Yeah.
Some come up guns a-blazing.
Some of these coaches are just not made to be head coaches. They're made to be coordinators, and it just seems like that's what Josh McDaniels' position should be. So I'm sure he'll find a coaching position somewhere else, maybe later this year or probably next year. So
never good when the non-existent wide receiver 4 Hunter Renfrow comes out and says we don't have to walk on the eggshells anymore. Jason says 1 wide receiver, 1 flex. Lockett, Bijan, and Puka. I'm going Bijan and Puka.
Same here.
I will go Bijan and Puka.
All right, Jason. Good luck with that. Sully, what did you do here? We don't have any questions, so let's knock this.
All right, so the one of your Superflex bonus, the version 2 leagues, the team that you once ran, I traded Dak Prescott, Bryce Young, and Jonathan Taylor for Anthony Richardson, Breece Hall in a 2024, which looks like mid-second. I'm 2 in whatever. I'm horrible. I still have Russell Wilson and Geno Smith. I really wanted to get a share of Breece Hall because I think he's unreal, and I wanted to have a little fun with take the upside of Anthony Richardson. How'd I do?
And so you got a mid-second, Breece Hall and Anthony Richardson. Tell me the other side again.
I sent Dak, Bryce Young, and Jonathan Taylor. So I look at JT and Breece as pretty much a wash, and I don't know if that's realistic or not. I don't care too much for Bryce Young, although that could come back to bite me. I like the upside of Anthony Richardson, and the mid-second is whatever. But
I mean, I think you may have given up just a little bit too much, but I don't think it's crazy. I think it works for somebody that's wanting to get younger. And I agree that Breece Hall and Jonathan Taylor, their value is probably pretty close right now in Dynasty. So you're getting younger, more dynamic at quarterback, because I agree. We don't know if Bryce is a long-term fix, but taking on a little more risk with Richardson. But I think it works. I think it works for both sides. It's not crazy one way or the other. What about you, Bryce? What do you think?
Yeah, it would have been probably. I think like if that mid-second was more like a late first, I think it would be like perfectly even. But I think you got the upside with Anthony Richardson. So sometimes you got to take that risk. You got to risk it for the biscuit. So he could be a top 5 dynasty super flex dynasty asset in the next year or two, where Dak Prescott's not. I don't see Bryce Young being that, and then the running backs are definitely a wash. If anything, I think I'm going to lean Breece Hall just a little bit.
Well, if anything, I made that second later, I think, right? Because I made the team that I just made the trade with better. So that pick could deteriorate in value, but
true, because now he's got Dak Prescott in every week instead of whatever he had before.
Well, he had nothing, right? Because he had Richardson on IR, and I can't remember who else he had, but they were kind of a dog's breakfast. So
the quarterbacks on that team probably weren't very good because I left that.
Well, we don't have any question. I have a start-sit question. Do you?
I have one too. Go ahead.
I guess
I have trades I want to talk about too.
Awesome. Let's do this.
JP did come in though here real quick. Darrell Henderson or Brett Ripien in a super flex spot. This is a good question.
That's a great question. It's gross, and I'm sorry, JP. That sucks, but I'll go Henderson.
I'm gonna go with the quarterback. I'll go with the quarterback. You got Sean McVay, and then you still got two really good wide receiver options. Like it wouldn't surprise me if he could still got like a touchdown and had a decent game. I think he's gonna give you like a bunch of underneath routes and simple stuff. So sure,
you're 100% right. I'm going with Rippin too. You're right.
Yeah. If it was any other coach, I probably wouldn't. But I think Sean McVay will set him up for some success.
He's still got a valuable pass catching tight end that doesn't do anything after the catch, but he can still catch the football. Two good wide receivers, and you're right. It's Rippin.
At least he's not a rookie, undrafted rookie, right? Like at least you're not bringing in Tyson Bagent or something,
right?
Yeah, and Darrell Harrison was on the couch 2 weeks ago for a reason, right?
Rob says Puka, Evans, or Nico in a PPR. This is Evans for me. Easy. Evans has been one of the most consistent wide receivers this year.
His whole career.
Well, but I mean, on a week-to-week basis, in other years it's been,
big boomer bust.
Boomer bust. But this year he's been pretty steady across the board. So it's easily Evans for me. What about you, Bryce?
Yeah, I'm gonna lean Evans as well. Even though I do think that Chris Godwin is more of Baker's go-to guy. Like in certain situations, Evans seems like more of definitely a bigger play guy. But both of these wide receivers have way more value than I expected them to have this year. I was writing off Evans and Godwin for this year in comparison to their previous years, but they're both just kind of playing still at the same level and having some similar production that they had even when Tom Brady was there.
Yeah, I wrote off Mike Evans as well. I thought Godwin would still be okay because Baker's been historically pretty good in the middle of his field with guys like Juice and stuff like that in his career. But man, I was wrong. This is Evans for me as well. I have him as a top 12 wide receiver this week. I think he's a rock solid play. And I like Nico Collins too, but it's Evans.
JP says, thanks, guys. Needed that. No problem at all. That's what we're here for. And then right now, while we're waiting for the next question, Bryce is going to talk about his start-sit question.
This is like my super stack team. So it's kind of a rude question brag to an extent. So who do you sit? Josh Jacobs, Cooper Kupp, Adam Thielen?
Jacobs.
So I got sitting.
Yeah.
Last week I sat Henry and started Jacobs, but I started Henry on Thursday, which was good because he got up 19 something point. Good week. So
I don't have the stones to sit Cooper Kupp, but that's what I wanted to tell you.
That was my debate. I was like, man, do I want to put in Jacobs? Because
I think this is a game where he goes crazy.
Didn't Aiden O'Connell dump down a lot too? I feel like Aiden O'Connell dumped a lot. Like
he did in the one start he had, but the other thing too is Devontae Adams might get 25 targets tonight.
That's my thing. Today is make
Devontae tonight or this afternoon or whatever.
I have Adams and Chase in that league too, so that's Cooper Kupp. I guess is my third wide receiver for the week.
For me, it's make Devontae Adams happy week.
Yeah,
you can't sit Cooper Kupp. You can't sit Cooper Kupp.
You finally get rid of the coach. You're trying to make good. You're trying to get this guy back on board with the franchise. Today is the day where you just tell Aiden, it doesn't matter. I don't care if you throw 5 interceptions. You go out there and you get Devontae the ball. Let's start turning this franchise around, get our major wide receiver happy, and then we start moving forward. Because there's one player. You don't have a quarterback right now. Devontae Adams is your franchise at this moment. Maybe that changes in the offseason and they do move him. But right now at this moment, Devontae Adams is the player you need to.
They could be in the Kyler Murray sweepstakes for sure, too.
They need to draft and develop a quarterback. They need to just slow it down, draft and develop, make Max Crosby happy on the defensive side, make Devontae Adams happy on the offensive side, and just remember you live in Vegas. Have fun.
I don't think you make either of them happy if you go that route. That's the problem. Especially Devontae Adams.
Adams even said he's too old. He's like, I'm too old for a rebuild.
Yep.
Didn't he say that? So that's why I said they could be, if they want to keep Adams, bringing in Kyler Murray makes sense.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, that would be the only thing that I could imagine.
That's fair.
Mike says Lockett, Brian Robinson, or Zach Moss.
I'll go with Lockett here.
I will go with Tyler Lockett as well.
Yep, same here. Same here for me. Lockett sweep on that one for you, Mike. JP says, is Gus Edwards a must start now? I think he is. I think that he's a top, 16 running back on a weekly basis as long as they don't have somebody in there taking his spot, which makes him a must start for me. Unless you just happen to have 3 top 12 running backs that you can fit in there. But this week with buys and everything, I think he's probably what do I have him? He's probably my 8th running back or something.
Yeah.
That's funny. He's 16th overall between us. I have him 27th. You have him 61 overall. So
I have him as my 22nd ranked running back. So must start? No. Should you start? Probably. I think what I find interesting with that Baltimore offense, even after a change in offensive coordinator to this pass heavier friendly, their running backs still average over 5 yards per carry. So they're doing something right on the ground. And I don't know if that's the Lamar factor in RPOs that you're keying on the quarterback and not so much the running back. But Gus Edwards is a rock solid RB2. So yeah, bless you, sir.
Thank you.
I don't know how many teams would have better top 12, top 24 running backs at their disposal. So must start, no. Likely start, I would say yes.
Yeah, you can't let him sit on your bench. So if you have better options, you need to trade him. So,
yep, I have him as my 12th running back on the week.
He's either a must start or a must trade because there's a lot of value right now with trading some running backs.
Yep,
that I agree 100%.
Okay, so I want to get you guys' opinion. These are some moves I made in a dynasty where I'm like in the middle of a rebuild. I'm not all the way at the bottom, but
like a soft rebuild.
Well, yeah, I'm just further into my rebuild, so really I'm missing running back. Well, actually, I had some decent running backs, but hurt Monty and Mixon starting off slow and stuff like that. So started making some moves this week, but one of them was I drafted Sam Laporta last year, drafted him at 211, and I got an offer of Luke Musgrave, 2024 first round pick, and a second round pick in 2024 for Sam Laporta. So I took that. What do you guys think of that deal?
That's when you put in the chat and said, thanks
yes.
for your advice. I'll take the package easy.
I didn't see that in the chat until this morning, but I was scrolling through it and going, yep, the whole way through it. So yeah, I agree.
So then followed that up. As soon as I made that move, I started getting some other offers. So this one I received Jordan Love, first round and second round in 2024 for Tua and Joe Mixon. And a 1 QB, mind you. And a 1
QB I like it. Superflex I don't. So yeah,
one more time.
I'm good with that.
I got Jordan Love and a first and a second for Tua and Joe Mixon. And I have Justin Fields on that team as well. So it's not like Jordan Love is my future quarter. Well, neither of them may be, but
yeah, I'll take the picks for sure. Especially if you got a bet, you're starting Fields when he's healthy on a weekly basis. Raheem Mostert touchdown.
Raheem Mostert touchdown.
He needed that. He needed that. He looks cooked right now. I don't know what's going on with him.
Yeah. He's like, if you hit him before he gets to the line of scrimmage, that's when if you get him get ahead of steam, that's when and that's what happened. He went untouched to the line of scrimmage, and then there was a hole, and boop, there he goes.
Yeah. How long was it?
Like 10, 12 yards, maybe. Nothing.
It was off a turnover.
It was a four play, 27-yard drive because it was off of a strip sack fumble.
I just got an F-bomb text from my wife because she's playing against Mostert in the Scott Fishbowl.
So Mike wants to know, are we going with Royce Freeman or Juju Smith in the flex?
I'm going to let Bryce take this one, being the Patriots insider.
Yeah, I knew this is if it was Demario Douglas, I'd say Demario Douglas. If you happen to are in a league where he is on the waiver wire, drop Juju Smith-Schuster and pick up Demario Douglas and start him over Royce Freeman. But I'm going to go with Royce Freeman. I do see that this. I wouldn't surprise me if the Rams run the ball 30 times today and Royce Freeman gets 15 of them. Darrell Henderson gets the other 15. So I hope he falls into the end zone in one of those things, because Juju Smith-Schuster has been like the number 4 or 5 option this year, even when he was healthy. He just said Demario Douglas is not available. Yeah, I figured. But I just don't trust Juju. Tyquan Thornton should be active today, even though he was a healthy scratch last week, which is terrible news. So who knows who's going to step up for the Patriots receivers? It's probably nobody. But if I'm not trusting Juju Smith-Schuster, I would much rather have Royce Freeman.
It's Royce Freeman pretty easily for me as well.
I think it has to be. Like, I might start Keyshawn Boutte over Juju Smith-Schuster.
Juju would be
on the practice roster.
Juju might be a good GPP lineup for DraftKings.
No,
if there's ever a time, that now's the time, right? Is Parker out too?
I don't know. He shouldn't even be on the team. I don't know
why we
find him. Yeah. Why? I mean, this is ridiculous. This is that
we're spending too much time on Patriots wide receivers.
There's nobody else. There's nobody to talk about. So there's nothing. But I'm excited for Demario Douglas. I think he's a guy that you could trade in dynasty leagues. I'd try and acquire him. See if you can get him for 3rd round picks or what. But
I picked him up in a few redraft spots this week, and I'm battling him or Khalil Shakir, and I have Douglas in right now. So
Demario Douglas might be my most owned player in all my leagues. I think I have him in every league except one. And
it's fun to watch.
Leagues. Yeah. So I'm hoping he blows up.
Fun to watch Bryce.
Hey, last time I had a feeling about a Patriot receiver that wasn't like well known was Jacoby Meyer, and I had him in like all my leagues, and I was getting him for $1 in startups back when he was an undrafted free agent, and that ended up.
I got him in a couple of leagues too.
Yeah, being a good value, and I had that same feeling about Demario Douglas, who was a 7th round pick, but we'll see.
Mike said he just picked up Juju for free. I would like to see what other options you have on your waiver wire at wide receiver. Because
tell us like the top 5 on there. And
Juju's just a name now, right? Like
it is.
Like,
he's got nothing.
His name should be.
You just can't feel comfortable putting him into a lineup ever.
I dropped him in the fishbowl, and there's nothing. There's nothing on waivers in the Scott Fishbowl, and I still dropped Juju.
Yeah,
it's just. It does suck, right? Because, at one point, Juju was talked about as potentially the number 1 wide receiver in dynasty leagues.
I had those conversations, right? And I'm one of the ones that thought he was.
And it just has been downhill since then. Last year was like a quiet, good, solid season.
Yeah, almost 1,000 yards.
850 yards, and
I think he was in the 900s. I thought
maybe he was.
He had a pretty good quarterback last year.
Minor net cut.
Oh, well, yeah, that's definitely true. It's definitely a better quarterback than he's got now. Juju.
I would honestly, so you can go to the next one there where he says it's a deep league with Jake Bobo and Darius Slayton. I'd want Bobo over Juju right now.
I would want Bobo as well.
They're getting him involved. He gets a little bit of runs. He's a bit of a red zone target. Like, he's not anything great, but Juju's giving you nothing.
He did that last year was actually Juju's 2nd most yards. He had the 1,426 in 2018, and he had 933 last year. It is hard to believe Juju only had one 1,000-yard season. It was just such a huge season.
Mike also says the youngest guy to ever come in the NFL and do all these things. So people are like, oh man, if he's doing this at 18, 19 years old, what he's going to do when he's 25?
He was 21 when he started.
Right. What? No,
but it was
not when he started. He was 19 when he came into the league.
He was 2017 was his first year. He was age 21 that year.
I thought he got drafted at 19 years old and they made it like a huge deal.
At least this is what I'm looking at right now on profootballreference.com.
He's 26 right now.
God, he feels 46.
How many years has he been in the league? 17, 6 years. So he was I know he was 19 when he was drafted. I think he turned 20 his rookie year.
He turned 21 on November 22nd of his rookie year. He turned 21.
Okay. So he was 20 when he started the season. But
20.
I think the thing there is, so Juju was riding shotgun with AB back in those days, right? With Roethlisberger throwing it all over the yard 650 times for 5,000 yards a season. That's before he started getting hurt. And as soon as he got hurt, whatever he did to his knees, he's ruined now. So he's got absolutely nothing left in the tank, which is too bad because I really liked him. So anyway, that's a lot of Patriots wide receiver talk.
Yeah, we've talked about Patriots wide receiver. As Matt Z comes in with the Patriots logo. Just to make Bryce feel good a little bit.
He knows the struggle.
Goddard or Kincaid, and then Puka or Jacobs at the flex. I've got Jacobs on that side, and shit.
Did you just say he knows the struggle, Mr. 6 Super Bowl titles?
Hey,
what the hell?
I'm just saying, as of recent,
up,
they've been god awful to watch.
The Texas Rangers won the World Series this past week. You know what organization now in the 4 major sports has the longest drought without a championship?
Vikings.
Is it the Vikings? Yeah.
Right there.
Ouch.
So suck on he knows the struggle.
I have Dallas Goddard ahead, so I'm going Goddard and Jacobs out of these two. Bryce, where are you going?
I am going to go with I'll go with Goddard and Jacobs as well.
Kincaid and Jacobs for me.
I can't blame you.
That's fair. I have Kincaid. He's just like 4 spots behind Goddard, so they're real close.
Kincaid's my 4, Goddard's my 6, so it's not a big stretch. I want Khalil Shakir then, if that's the case over those guys.
Shakir's the one I want out of all those receivers that you listed, Mike.
So when holy cow, Dawson Knox got hurt, they went away from the 2 tight end sets, and Shakir's the guy that's his first game. I think he had 10 catches or something crazy. So ride the hot hand, I'd say.
Ronnie Daniel says, morning, fellas. Dotson or Henderson in a full PPR? Thanks.
Dotson for me, without Curtis Samuel and coming off a nice game.
Dotson for me as well.
I have Dotson a little bit ahead of Henderson, so I'm on the Dotson. This is probably the first time all year I picked Dotson, huh?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't hate him, but I
think
also
you do.
No. I just think he's
overrated.
The second best on his team.
Yeah, I agree with
Which
that.
makes it tough. I gotta go Kincaid right now. JP says I mean, I don't blame you, but Goddard's just been proven longer over time.
Exactly.
Their offense is good. They're in a big matchup this week, so
there's not a wrong answer there. I don't know enough about the Bengals defense in terms of what they're good and not good at. I think they get to the quarterback, but other than that, their secondary's rebuilt. So I just like Kincaid a little bit better.
The problem for me with Henderson is that I think Royce Freeman out-touched him last week, right? Like
he did significantly, but Henderson was relevant in the passing game. But I think we can't really count on that now, can we? So
right.
And then the
quarterback
matchup
and all that. I'll go Dotson with the upside.
Yeah, the matchup is worse for Henderson than it is for Dotson. The Patriots secondary is decimated. Their whole defense is decimated. Wide receivers have been doing well this year against them, especially the number 2 wide receivers. And Henderson,
the Commanders,
Atlanta's defense,
and the Commanders' defense is kind of they lost their 2 primary edge guys, right? So and their secondary has been poop all year. So that could be a sneaky, crazy, high-scoring football game.
No, it cannot.
I think it really could.
I don't think the Patriots could know how to score more than 21 points. I don't think it's like in their team's game script.
Didn't they put up more than that on Buffalo?
Maybe against Buffalo, yeah, but geesh.
So if you could score 28 on Buffalo, I think you could score 48 on Washington.
Who'd we play last week?
I don't know. I try to forget.
I don't know.
Miami.
We're talking too much about the Patriots. Poo.
They suck. Nobody's worth really having on there in your lineup. And that guy.
Damn, Miami. That game was awful. And Miami's it's a 1-score game.
Oh, nice.
Let's go fish.
Score a touchdown yet?
Not yet. No, Cedric Wilson did, unfortunately.
Kelsey and Tyreek have been relatively quiet. Kelsey, super
which is good. I need Kelsey to stay quiet.
I don't.
I do. I need Bryce's team to fall apart so I get a really good draft pick. He got from
what am I 6-2 in that league or something?
I need you to fall apart. All I need you to do is not get a bye and then lose in the first round of the playoffs, so I get the 7th or 8th pick, and then that makes it a lot better for me.
Fair enough.
Can you guys remind me who I picked out of these three the last time this question came up? I think I was Ford. Wasn't I?
I would go Ford here. I don't think we've had Hunt and Ford in the same question.
Yeah, we
have.
Okay. Yeah, you're right.
I don't think we have. We've had like Singleton and Ford or
though. Singleton
and Hunt.
Yeah,
but I'm going Ford.
Ford for you. Good vibes for sure. We love that. If you guys are feeling the love, smash that like button. Subscribe. We got some big stuff in the works. I cannot wait. 2024 is going to be fun, fellas.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Andre says, sup, fellas. Need 1.5 point PPR. Dotson, Ford, Roschon, Wan'Dale Robinson. So which one out of this group are you going to throw in the lineup, Sully?
I think I'm going to say Dotson. I think Ford might be, if I went to look at my rankings, might be right there with him. And I have a really sneaky good feeling about Wan'Dale Robinson without Darren Waller, with Daniel Jones hopefully being better. But I'll go with Dotson.
I'm going to go with Dotson this week as well.
I'm going with Ford, but I have a sneaky suspicion, since this is the first week I'm giving up on my Roschon love for now. They're going to
I like Roschon a lot this week.
Pile him in there. I love him every week. He's clearly the best running back on this team, especially with Khalil Herbert hurt. But the offense is just going to be bad with Tyson Bagent as a quarterback.
Agree.
But 37 dump-offs to Roschon would be pretty sweet.
If Wan'Dale got double-digit targets today, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yep, I'm going forward. That's where I'm at.
Dotson for me.
We haven't made any bets this week.
I know. I'm shell-shocked.
Do we have, I still don't know where the sheet is.
It's ridiculously close. Hey, even if you go back to last year and add in this year, it's very tight.
You did really well last week, actually. So you only lost one. That was that one you made that was ridiculous.
Well, hey, you don't have to be rude. But I've actually done pretty well this year.
You took 6 guys over Amari Cooper. You had to expect one of them to be due.
No, I honestly really didn't. I thought he was going to be terrible, and then I turned on Red Zone and it's like Cooper. I'm like, good God.
I knew. I was like, he's going to He's going to have to get peppered today, right? I mean, he did. He got peppered.
JP says Freeman only got 9 carries to Hendo's 12. We
Bryce,
were talking touches. I don't know.
Can you look at the snap count for the Rams last week?
Henderson was at 52-ish%.
Where do you pull that from?
Sleeper. If you just look up a player's name and you click on them, it'll show you their points and then it'll say their snap percentage on that.
I thought Freeman had more, and I'm not saying JP's wrong. I just thought Freeman had more than Hendo last week.
Oh my gosh.
Or maybe he just was better. I don't know.
Darrell Henderson's snap percentage last week was actually only 47%.
Right, and what was Freeman's?
Royce Freeman's snap percentage was 53%.
That's probably what I was saying.
Henderson had more carries and 3 targets, 3 receptions. Royce Freeman had no receptions, no targets, and no receptions. Royce Freeman did fall into the end zone.
And he was better yards per carry too, wasn't he?
They're both pretty pedestrian.
Yes.
I was really hoping that the second half would be a lot of
Royce
Pacheco.
had 4.9 yards per carry. That's actually very good. So Henderson is. I guess on 9 touches is not too difficult to do. Darrell Henderson was 2.5.
Mostert is heating up, and my wife is heating up right along with him. She is pissed.
Mostert did just fumble, but they recovered it.
Oh, Scott Fish is no negative points anyway. So
I'll
be right back, guys. I got to hit the little boys' room.
Well, hey, hold on.
Yeah.
I needed Pacheco. We can call it a day. We're at 12:15. Obviously short show this week, but with the game on, we don't have a lot of people in here. So we'll be back next week. Is there another Germany game next week too?
No.
Yes. There's a game overseas. The Patriots play at 9:30 next week. That's the only reason.
No one's gonna watch that. We'll be busy.
Yeah, it's gonna be. It'll probably be boring. So.
And we got a Mexico game coming later this year too, don't we? And then that'll be it.
I think, yeah, but I don't think that one will be early, will it? Will they?
No, it'll be no. They usually make it the Monday night game.
Yeah,